Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and today we are back with another new series because I just keep getting new ideas and I can't stick with anything. So today we have the Trending 20 tier list. Yes, and it is hard to say, and I will probably struggle every time we have to say it. But what we're looking at is on Key Collector, which is an app I'm not sponsored by, but I use every single day. I recommend to most people. Most people can probably use the free version. I definitely could not, working at a comic shop and then also buying as many comics, being as interested in as many comics as I am, is not something that I could have the free version for. I've been using it for a very long time and highly recommend it. But we're looking at the trending, God, I can't even say it without the tier list. The trending 20 list that is offered on their thing, which has a lot of insight. Shows some really interesting flows, and there's a lot of information. It's not necessarily buy all these comics, in the list, but it shows a lot. If you read in between the lines, you can pick up on a lot of interesting information. Today, I am joined by Michael from Wahoo Comics. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Excited to do another series. You do always have a lot of great ideas.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, I've been wanting to do a tier list for a while, and I figured out some sort of way that we can do it here. And how it's going to be is it's going to basically, at the top, the S tier is going to be stuff that you need to buy right now. Like, what are you doing? Stop watching the video. Go to eBay right now and buy this book. And then as you go down, it's going to scale down to like, definitely don't buy this book. At least right now, it's overpriced. It's at peak type deal. So, and then in between, We'll make up reasonings for why we think it might be okay to buy this book type thing. So, are you ready to hop into the video?
I'm always ready.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it with Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 4. This is the first appearance of Tamara Blake, I guess is how you say it. Is it Tamara?
Tamara? I'm not sure.
Do you know why this one's popped off?
Yeah, I know the Iron Cat was revealed to be here. I haven't read that story yet, but I know that's
a pretty good issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think she's just a really obscure character that is, popped back up into a comic book. Does that mean that anyone's going to care 6 months from now? I don't know. Now, granted, it is Jed MacKay writing. I have full faith that it's going to make a good story, but I don't really expect this, which, by the way, definitely a book you could probably still find in a dollar bin or something, or
right.
For a few dollars maybe. Maybe go on eBay and flip it for $20 or so. And so in that situation, I'd say it is a book to buy, but I guess depending on the price, because it is one that just very, very recently this week shot up. So where would oh crap, wrong thing. Where would we put that on the list? Because I don't. In a sense, it's kind of overpriced.
Right, that's the question. Where it's like, are we talking about like going on eBay and getting this book, or finding it for a few bucks in my LCS? Like, that's a huge
Well, let's put it in not great, because a deal can be found, but even if you can, like, it's not that big of a book, and I think it'll be a hard sell. You're going to see an oversaturation on the market, and then the people that want this book are going to buy this book, and then suddenly you're going to be left over. Even if you only spend $1 or a few dollars, you have this book that you don't want in your collection. So it is a potential possibility to get a quick little flip on it, but I think one that might be a little hard to do. So then up next we have the free comic book day, Avengers X-Men Judgment Day number 1. It does have the first appearance of Blade's daughter. And I don't even know, honestly, why this book has gone up like it has. I mean,
I think there's some actress that's been cast, I think, for the Blade movie, and so there's speculation that it's this character. Nobody really knows, but that's what has made it pump. And so if you can get it for $1, which you should, because it's just a recent free comic book day, that might be worth speculating on. But
or if you went to free comic book day, maybe.
I know, I'm actually really upset because I was looking for books for my kids that I didn't get this. Somehow I looked over it, but I'm sure a billion were printed. They were free, so I wouldn't spend a ton on it. But
I think I actually had a copy that I was checking out. I wasn't even actually reading it. I was just kind of like thumbing through it. And then somehow, like, I think one of my animals knocked it in the floor and it got trashed and I threw it away. I was like, yeah, whatever, it's a free comic book day book. But so I guess would that also fall under the not great category of maybe some money can be had, but I can't imagine it's going for too much right now, you know.
Right. Yeah, I think just a few bucks you can easily find it for.
And with it being
eBay.
so absolutely fresh and originally free.
Right.
Yeah.
Tons of people already have it.
And then, so next we have 8 Billion Genies, #1. So this is a new series that just came out about a month ago, I think, maybe 2 months ago. And it says that Amazon has picked up the rights for a movie. So this could maybe be some decent spec. A lot of shops probably still have it for cover price.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a long-term hold. You know, it's always funny to me
Right.
because people like, oh, somebody picked up for a movie. It's like, it's going to be several years till we see this
Right.
movie. So I feel like that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
In the fine category, maybe.
That's why I was going to put it at fine. You know, like it's going to shoot up, and then there's going to be no news on this movie for at least a year, probably 2 years, and it'll settle down, and you'll be able to get it back again later. But it's fine.
Yeah. To me, yeah, if you want to grab you a copy or two or whatever, hold on to it if you get it at cover price.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever Amazon decides to put out the show, if they even actually do it, you know, then maybe you got something a little nice. I skipped out on reading that one. I didn't check it out. And then we have, here we go, Once Our Land. Is this a new book? No, this is a bit of an older book, isn't it? This book came out 2016, so yeah, it's got a little bit of age on it. What's the big thing on this one? It is in development with Mercury Filmworks. I'm not even sure who that is. But, yeah,
me
just
neither.
another thing being developed into a property. This one, though, has a bit more of a pre-established price, it looks like, with it being an older book. And it being an obscure book, I feel like it'd be kind of maybe, like, hard to stumble upon, you know,
Sure.
out in the wild. Do I want to throw this in overpriced? Is that too egregious?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about what these indie books are going for. Do you know what that's selling for? Like, can you get it for cover price?
I'm simply looking at Key Collector right now,
Uh-huh.
and it says it's at about $30. Now, granted,
Oof.
you know,
Yeah, that seems way high.
yeah, I don't know if that's what it's going for,
For now.
anyway,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I think I'm just gonna. I don't know enough about that thing. I don't even know who Mercury Filmworks is. Maybe that's an established company that, you know, has done some cool stuff. I'm not familiar with them. So we're going to move on, though. So we have the Black Cat 12. It says key variant. I don't know what that means. I was looking at that earlier. I was like, what is key variant? Now, this is a variant by Scan, featuring the Iron Cat, which, again, Iron Cat making her way to this list just because her series, the new series popped out this past week. And, you know, pretty good start. Like I said, Jed McKay's on board, so I'm excited for the story. I think... So this would be... I don't know if this is her first cover appearance. It doesn't say so on here. I know that 11 is her first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But... Or I guess we're at this point we're talking about the Armor's first appearance, because then it's somebody else that's in the thing, so... I don't know. We're getting into some weird territory. I feel like... And this one... Again, has it on Key Collector at about $25. I don't... Even if this series is every bit as awesome as I want it to be, I don't see this, like, being a book that blows up. You know, I feel like... That's going to go overpriced, I think, for me.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Yeah. Which, it is worth noting, you know, as we're doing these, I always say, you know, if you're looking to make money in this hobby, don't be chasing the books that everyone else is chasing.
Right.
Because you're already too late. Now, there might be some exceptions on here, and we'll talk about those as we get to them. So, the next book is Batman Beyond the White Knight, #1. This book was crazy when it first came out. So, it had a thank you variant that was... like weirdly delayed, and I think a lot of shops got some early and some shops didn't. Our shop got one, and I think we sold it for like $300 or $400 on
Wow.
eBay. And then whenever everybody else got their copies, it went down. I don't remember. I think it was still going for like $200 or something, but still, like, it was crazy. So this is let's see, got a first cameo appearance of a girl Robin. First appearance of Jackie and Bruce Napier. I don't know if any of this is
the Napiers. Is that like the Joker? Like, I think that's one of his. So I don't know if they're related to him.
I'm not sure. I do know. I haven't read it myself, but I've heard very good things about this series from people that I've talked to. Anyway. I didn't mean to necessarily put it there. I just like to click them in spot. It's like, I guess, like a little OCD thing. I'm just like, oh, look, it fits. I don't know. I think it's just a hyped book right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in overpriced, I think.
Sure. So, yeah. I don't know how much legs are on that character.
Yeah, because like there would have to be significant work done with Batman Beyond before anything else even starts to pop up. I would think.
I agree.
Now we're moving on to a spicy one. All right, so we're on to Bloodstone 1. Okay. Now this book, I've talked about extensively on the channel. It perplexes me because, now granted, there is a little bit of something finally happening with her. She's going to be in some animated show, supposedly. But this book, ever since people got the idea, which it happens all the time, it's like, this person might pop up, this person might pop up, the book explodes in value, But then usually people are like, actually, you know what, I don't care anymore, and they forget about it. Mm-hmm. They never did with Elsa Bloodstone. And I really struggled to get this book. It's a hard book to find anyway, and I think that also leans a little bit to the fact that the prices have been staying up. She's not in a ton of books. She is a cool character. Basically everything she's ever been in doesn't have any kind of high print runs. She has a very, very limited amount of covers even. And I don't know. This book just feels like every day I look at it, it's just higher than it was before. So there's part of me that wants to say it's too much, but then there's part of me that is like, if we actually do get something with her, then this book truly will go like even further through the roof.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of this book. Like the one thing makes me pause at least a little bit. You talked about this in a recent video. Like the spec on characters are moving earlier and earlier. Yeah. So like, I sold some She-Hulk books this week, and I made a profit on them because I had a good entry point, but I thought I was going to make a huge profit on them. Yeah. But the time to make it was a year ago. Really. And so there has been so much hype on her. Like I said, there hasn't really been a depth. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like, is she already hit her ceiling? But I still do.
It could be.
I still do like this book. Of course, if she doesn't show up, then does it eventually drop? I don't know. But I think these books, I like it. I like this book.
I think of it in a similar manner as with the Thunderbolts recently, because that was kind of a long shot, decently long shot spec. Because it could have been, Dark Avengers. It could have, been something else. It could have not happened at all, I guess. But, when it did, that book, when it got confirmed anyway, it saw a significant increase despite it already having its own fair amount of growth just on spec. But the confirmation hit it pretty good. So I feel like personally, I want to put it in the buy now. But I feel like if I stop for a minute and think, realistically, I think this should go in the decent category, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. This is definitely the best. Out of all the books we've looked at so far, definitely for sure, the one that I would pick up.
And then, let's see, up next, we do have the Thundercats. They got something going on. They got a movie, Deadline Reports, director, blah, 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 from King Kong. So, yeah, I guess they got a director here recently attached to the movie, which I've heard rumblings about a Thundercats movie for a long time now. But again, I think that kind of goes to show that you probably should have picked it up a long time ago as well. But I think there could be room to potentially grow because with it not being a Marvel thing or not being a DC thing, I feel like there is less eyes on it. And so at that point, it really just kind of depends on how good. Does it say who's doing the movie? Warner Bros.
I think it did, but I forget. Yeah.
But yeah, so like if, for example, if the movie comes out and sucks, then
Right.
But if suddenly everyone's like, "Oh my God, did you see Thundercats? It was incredible,"
Right.
then that could really potentially help skyrocket the book. But
I'd say this is another book I like because it exploded during the comic boom, and then it fell hard over the last few months. So now I think it's inching back. Like it still hasn't reached the ceiling it once had. So I think there's room to get back there. And I think the nostalgia factor on this is really high for people in my generation who are, really starting to put money into comic books now. And there's a lot of people like me that, watched the Thundercats as a kid who just want this issue. That's why I think Transformers 1's a good book, Master of the Universe 1's a good book. I think this is just a good property.
Do you feel like this is fine by then?
Yeah, I'd go fine or decent. Yeah, I'm biased, like I said, because nostalgia factor is high for me. So I might put it in decent, but I can understand fine.
See, because I'm fighting with the anti-nostalgia because I didn't watch Thundercats.
Right.
These mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
And that's what's so tricky because I try to think like, for example, like with Transformers persist. There's always a new series. There's something going on. So when those movies came out, you had your old school people that were excited to go see it, but then you still had kids that were excited to see Transformers as well. When's the last Thundercats anything came out?
Yeah, it's definitely not as big as Transformers for sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put it in fine.
Sounds good.
And then we got Miss Marvel number 12. Now this one enters a little bit of more spoiler territory if y'all aren't up to date on all your shows and stuff. So this is the first appearance of Red Dagger that we just kind of had a little surprise appearance in Miss Marvel in the last episode. Which, by the way, I've just from what I've seen, and it's weird because I feel like I've been so drained because I feel like we're just in this state where everything that comes out, no matter what it is just people hating on it online. And I get it, like that's what they're there for.
Sure.
That's all they do. But I've been very surprised by seeing a lot of support for Miss Marvel, and I've been enjoying the show, which I enjoyed pretty much whatever. But I'm just a nerd having a good time.
Sure, yeah.
But which I think the show has a lot of really good writing, has a lot of good, even the side characters are super fleshed out and everything. However, I think, again, if you were specking on Miss Marvel and you're like, maybe Red Dagger will pop up, an important character to her story, then you're doing good now. However, I do feel like you've probably missed the boat, and I probably go full into overpriced on that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Once a character shows up in the show, you've missed the boat. Yeah, that book goes crazy, and the time to buy was a while ago.
Yeah. So, cool character, though. And then moving on to, strangely enough, I was very shocked when I saw this on the list. We have Spider-Man 55, the Gleason cover. Are you a huge fan of this cover?
Not like other people. It's nice, but I'm really surprised, this became the thing.
I'm the same way. I saw it, because, again, I work at a comic shop. I saw it as I'm taking the books out, and I thought, do I want that? And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
Retrospectively, I should have picked it up. But I thought, if anything, his Carnage cover was way better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I get sometimes, really good covers. I'm fine with that. Really good covers explode in value. But this one just blew my mind. I
agree.
And I don't understand why it's suddenly hot again. It's seen a 150% increase.
Yeah.
Sold this week.
I was shocked. Same thing. Shocked that this was on the trending list.
So, for me, I would say I would say that even though we don't particularly care about this book too much, I feel like it might even. I feel like it goes either in fine or not great, because this book is kind of already showing that it will have staying power.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's why I would put it at fine because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I don't think it's got to where it was still, right? Because it exploded and then dropped quite a bit, and I'm guessing it's climbing back up there. But it seems to be a modern day iconic cover, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it is going to have staying power.
Yeah, it just I mean, right out the release of it had a lot of popularity, and then even now when I've completely forgotten about it, apparently other people have not. So I guess it's a good one. And then we have Marvel number 6, and what's going on here? So this is a Greg Horn cover. Again, just seeing another 150% increase after a CGC private signing for Greg Horn. So, gotcha. I feel like immediately that's down here.
I totally agree.
Yeah. There is no room to make money on that one unless you... And it's such a weird, obscure book. At my shop, I've only seen a very, very small amount of Marvel books come through. So yeah, I wouldn't be on the hunt for that one to make money anyway. And then we have Vengeance number 1. This is an interesting one I want to talk about. So this is the first appearance of America Chavez, and also just a gorgeous cover. I love the cover of all the Vengeance books, but the number 1, man, it's so good. Do you think we're now? Well, obviously, some people are of the mindset that now is the time to buy on America Chavez. You wait for it to be in the movie, dips down a little bit, and then you start buying. And I'm kind of the same mindset. I've been like, I want this book, but I want to wait, a little while, catch it at the dip, as they say.
Yeah.
So it seems like I said, other people are doing the same things. Does that make it? You got to wait a little bit longer?
I was surprised to see it's trending already, because I thought it would still be dipping. I mean, usually it's kind of like 6 months after a project. Yeah, that's kind of when people start looking at picking it up again. So I was surprised to see this book doing so well. What are we, 2 or 3 months after the movie? So I don't know.
It is worth noting that the movie just hit Disney Plus as well.
Oh, that's a good point. So maybe that generated some more interest. Yeah. I bet that's what happened. So
I literally just thought that.
Yeah, I bet that's what happened. That's a good point, which is something to keep in mind for the future. Yeah, maybe some of these books that might dip when it gets on Disney Plus, it'll spike again.
Yeah, that is some interesting, little bit of cracked knowledge we just figured out.
Yeah, that'll come into play with some of these other books we're getting to, I think.
So, I feel like maybe somewhere here. I don't know exactly where, but
I would put not great in the short term. I still think it'll dip, and there's some excitement for the show. I mean, I think Disney has a long-term future for the character. I think, and so I think long-term you're going to be fine. Even if you buy it a little high now, I think you'll be fine long-term. But I think you can wait.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a book you definitely need to be on the lookout for. I think it does have a lot of future potential, but there will be some dips. It will take some time to see her again on screen in whatever Young Avengers or Champions type thing that they're building up to. And it's one, like I said, I want it. I want to get it at some point.
Me too.
It's just finding that right moment.
Right.
And then we have Secret Wars 2. So it's the first appearance of God Emperor Doom, a very, very cool version of Doom. Also the first appearance of Bar Sinister. Is that? I'm not...
Yeah, I haven't read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Doom, though. Let's see. So, speculation: this version of Doom may appear in the Secret War stuff. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be getting Doom around the time, and we're supposed to be getting Secret War. So maybe it'll be happening relatively the same time. Would be a little crazy if we get Doom and then all of a sudden he's going, God mode. But
right.
And then it says something about... Oh, yeah, and there's that thing in in Doctor Strange, again, some spoiler stuff if you're not caught up with things, but you can't be specking if you're not caught up with things. That's just how it is. So Reed Richards comes down in that little portal thing, and that's more associated with like how Doom would typically his type of technology. So apparently that's part of the reason causing that book to go up, is what this says. Anyway. So, I don't know. I feel like this is a bit of a stretch. Also a little hyped up right now because, again, Doctor Strange is on Disney Plus. Why did I put that right there? I just skipped a spot entirely.
I almost asked you about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong. I think I was going to put it up top and fine.
Oh, yeah.
And then so it would have been, I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, I would say probably overpriced.
Yeah.
Because it's,
I would be, not great or overpriced. Either of those are fine for me. Like, I'm a huge Doom fan, that, so I'm biased. But I agree with what you said. It just seems like, even if you did, like, God Emperor Doom is just way down the line. Yeah.
It's a cheap enough book.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm like,
$10 or so.
Yeah, that's the price point I think is decent.
And even if we get Doom and this doesn't happen, there could still be enough spec that pops up later after a Doom reveal that might jump up in price.
Yeah.
And then we have Herogasm #1. So this was last week's episode of The Boys. Was the Herogasm episode. Fantastic episode. Are you watching The Boys?
I am, yep.
Oh, man, my favorite episode so far. It was so good. This is just a huge spike. I feel like this is an easy one, just right down there.
Right. I did see, this book, it also contains the first appearance of Soldier Boy. I mean, I still do agree that
yes, that's true.
And I don't know where, just for the Herogasm part, like, that's clearly, like, got it way up. But if there's a long-term, I haven't read the comic book. And I don't know if you've seen today's episode.
I have not watched it yet. I'm going to do it after this video.
So there's something, you learn about Soldier Boy there. That wasn't in the, like I read today, like that didn't happen in the comics. So the show isn't following the comics.
They're very, very different. Because like the V that's just introduced in this season, where the heroes taking it. Heroes.
The boys.
Yeah, when the boys are taking V, apparently, because like again, I haven't read the comics either, but apparently that they just are doing that from the beginning in the comics and stuff. So it's a big departure, but a good book. I think this is probably just the worst time to get it.
Right. Yeah. If Soldier Boy has a real future, see, I don't know if he's going to die or something. I have no idea. But if he's like a long-term character, this still
I really love that about this season. I feel like so many people could possibly die, and I can't wait to see who's it going to be.
Yeah.
So then moving on to Thor God of Thunder #2. Now this is the first appearance of Gore the God Butcher, also the Necro Sword. Now granted, we got, what is it, a week from now, right? A week from now this movie comes out. You've probably missed the boat on this one entirely. There might be a little spike, because I've heard, from the early reviews and stuff, people were really liking Gore. So there might be a little bit more to him. I think with it being Christian Bale, with it being directed by Waititi, I've heard his performance is really solid. The writing's really solid. This might end up being a really kind of fan favorite character. But then, even if there's a little bump, it's going to go...
Right, yeah.
Just in some time. And especially, I'm assuming it's a Marvel movie. I'm assuming he's probably going to die after this. Or die in this movie. So, yeah, probably just straight overpriced, right?
Yeah, I agree. They've been keeping their villains alive a little longer now. I think they're realizing they could bring them back if they're popular. So I don't know. We'll see if he dies, but still, regardless, I do agree that it's going to, drop off a cliff, eventually. And especially if villains don't tend to hold value as much as heroes, their first appearances. So I agree, overpriced.
All right, so then we have Marvel Comics Presents 158. This is the first appearance of Clandestine, which again, entering spoiler territory. So this is, some stuff that's going on in this Miss Marvel show, which has been throwing doing a good job at throwing quite a few surprises while also sticking really close to the source material. It's a very strange kind of world that it's like, oh my god, it's sticking so close, but things are also entirely different.
Right.
But again, show's been pretty solid. This book, I think, if you can find in the dollar bin, you might be able to make a few might be able to make a few bucks. However, I just don't even see this. I feel like they're just kind of using the name and they don't care about what the characters were. I don't think anybody cares about what the characters were. And probably, I don't think will be anything after this series either. So, do you want to throw that not great? Because
not great, it's fine, because you could find it for $1. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have to do some digging, though.
Yeah.
I can't.
Also, yeah, there's probably a few. I would imagine the print run's pretty low on this, so that's something, to help it a little.
I can only imagine. I mean, how many people do you think when they were watching that episode and they heard clandestine, they're like, yes.
0.
Oh. So then moving on to another Thor thing. We have Thor #1. This is not first Jane Foster Thor, but it's the one that people care about.
Right.
It's first cover appearance though, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I do believe first and third cameo. It doesn't say. Oh yeah, it does say first cover. Okay. So obviously, this book to me, even though I threw, because it's been very interesting. Because I like to look up prices of books that I own. Mm-hmm. I look up a lot of prices of books in general, but I follow certain ones that I own even more when they're going up and down and things are happening with them. I own both of these books, and it was very strange to me when the first trailer came out. We got to see Jane. She looked amazing, and nothing happened with that book. But with Gore, first of all, we saw the action figure. Everyone hated the action figure, and his price went up. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense at all. And I think part of what it was is I don't know for sure, but I think Thor 1 just had a incredibly much higher print run. So there's just more of this book, and this book is just right now getting drowned by oversaturation so heavily. Because I own a 9.8, so again, I've been keeping eyes on that. So before the trailer came out, it was like a $300 book, but then as soon as it popped up, I saw so many people, just so many posts, and I've talked about it quite a bit on the channel already. I think in my last video, was I talking about this book? Maybe, I don't know. Everything just blurs together in my mind. I just talk about comics all day, every day. But the problem is eventually so many people are trying to sell this book that you'll get some that'll get desperate and more desperate and more desperate. So I actually don't instinctively want to put this in overpriced, because I feel like you can find some really desperate sellers. We're in the wake of this period where a lot of flippers that came into the hobby thought that selling comics would be easy, and then now they're learning that, oh crap, I'm getting stuck with these books, and I'd be lucky to even make some of my money back, because they didn't understand how any of this works. So I feel like you could probably maybe snag a decent deal on this book right now. I don't want to put it up too high. I think not great, maybe.
If you can find a deal, I think that's the thing. I mean, I think the character does have long-term legs, so I like it for the long term. And if you get that good deal, some seller desperate, not great.
Go to eBay, follow a bunch of them, and then see which ones start sending you offers.
Yep.
And then just wait it out a little bit. Wait it out. And then you get more and more desperate, and then hit them with a lowball offer and see what happens. You might be able to meet somewhere in the middle or something and get you a good price on it. We're almost done here. So up next, we have What If Miles Morales #4. Now, this is a new one, a relatively new book, I think in the past few weeks or so. It's the first appearance of Miles, God of Thunder. So in this series, there's been lots of different versions of Miles. Now, is there any particular reason this one has gone up there?
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy, and I haven't read it, but I think they consider him to be stereotyped in some bad ways, and so that kind of have people talking about it, and so there's excitement to invest in it for that reason. But that's why I think this is overpriced, because I think just once, I
It's
don't
just
think
a
people are
controversial book. I see.
yeah, and so I think that's going to blow over, and
Okay.
6 months from now, nobody's going to be talking about it.
The image that it shows as reference is so he's got Mjolnir. It's got graffiti on Mjolnir, and then he's saying "Hammer time."
Okay.
So I can kind of see it, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's an easy one. And then we got Sonic 50 here. Is this a 1 in 50 is what it is? Yeah, a 1 in 50. God, I hate this cover.
I agree.
God, oh wow, it's got it priced at like $115 though.
Really?
That's insane. Now, granted, I'm sure there's probably a lot. Like honestly, like our shop orders a single copy of Sonic sometimes. It's not something that even usually sells that week. It's something that sits in our bins forever until some kids walk in and say, "Hey, do you have Sonic comics?" And we're like, "Yeah, maybe a couple of there," you know. Yeah, I guess there. I don't know. I don't know, because like it's like I said, probably not that many of these that exist.
Right.
But
I was going to ask you, working at a comic shop, does Sonic sell? And if it's only to kids, I mean, there's no real. You're not going to keep a high price tag on a book like this. I don't think.
Yeah. We're gonna throw you down here. We almost ran out of room in the overpriced, which I figured this would be the. I really like the little staircase that we've made here. And then Iron Cat has hit the list again, but this time with Iron Cat number 1, the 1 in 50. This is the scan cover. I'm a little shocked. I obviously I was hyped about this series, but I didn't hear anybody else talking about it. If I did hear anybody talk about it, because most people don't know that the Iron Cat armor was from like two series ago in the Black Cat story, and it was a small little thing. And so, like, the only like chat that I've heard about this is like, they're just doing whatever now. They're giving Black Cat an armor, and whatever, just like that kind of talk of just look how stupid this is. That's like the only thing I've heard minimally about this book. But I guess it came out, and I don't know if it's just people are receiving it well or what. Yeah. But it's got 3 books on this list this week.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Black Cat has a big following, so she's got a lot of fans. So anything within her universe, but
I cannot recommend enough all the Black Cat Jed McKay stuff. It's been super super good. But it's just a 1 in 50 ratio. Yeah. I think it's just hype for this week. Again, this book just came out, so I'm gonna throw it down there. And there is our list, our tier list. It's kind of not really a tier list, but it is a tier list type thing. I hope you all enjoyed this though, because it was kind of fun. I've been wanting to do a tier list for a while, and I think this is the best way that I could figure out to do one with comics anyway.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I like this. So as you can see, no super buy nows if you see it on the trending list is probably a typical thing.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I'll be really interested as we continue to do these over time. It'll be really interesting if we ever do get one that hits the buy now list. I kind of don't expect it, but there's, I guess, always the possibility. I think it's going to be very rare to even get anything indecent.
Right.
All right, so that is going to be our first ever Trending 20 tier list. I said it right that time. And I'd love to know what you all think about this type of video. Again, brand new, so there might have been some kinks to still kind of work out, but we did our best. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found this information interesting or useful, because again, I really try to spread the knowledge of helping people to know when to buy comics and when to sell comics. It's all very important. Even if you're not really a comic seller, it's still good to know these little trends and the hills that everything goes up and down all the time. Because if you're in this hobby, you're at least buying.
Yep.
And don't overspend. So, Michael, you got anything you want to say to these beautiful people?
No, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I think, it's super helpful to, like you said, not only for this Trending 20, but to learn some general trends that can carry over in months to come, like when generally your book's good to buy or not. So hopefully you got some good information.
Yeah, I am excited again as more of these videos are done. I think people will start to see some similarities, and that can be really helpful to people to really start to grasp concepts that maybe were a little bit more difficult for them. But thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Ha ha ha!